said when we cross Erskine, I'll show you, when we were at Malahoulish, I said look to the right folks, that's the way that goes down to Glasgow. Well, this is the way that it would have come down if we'd taken the waterways, so right up to the right, and if you look, see that lorry, if you look right just now, they see there's one basalt rock sticking out right on the promontory looking over the water. On top of that is Dumbarton Castle. That's where Mary Queen of Scots went off to when she was 5 years old and off to France. The French fleet came from Cherbourg, picked her up and took her away to safety. Look to the left is downtown towards Glasgow. This is Clydeside on the left. You see lots of apartment blocks down there, modern post-war apartment blocks, replacing the damage that was done with the bombing because of the shipbuilding, of course, and the engineering works there. On the right now, the cooperative building, and this is, you'll see across the left, it's like an armadillo. That's the Scottish Exhibition Centre across there to the left. It was 1990, it was the year of culture, folks, and so after that lots of garden festivals and lots of buildings sprung up. These, offices and pubs and bars and right and left and apartment blocks that sell very nice. You see there's you first of all, as we're going on, you see there is the Marriott, and to the left of that is a very tall thin beige colour with the bluey type of windows. That's our hotel there. It's a very nice hotel. The right hand side, the lower level, underneath the cars there, you cross over there, just walk up to this next traffic light and turn left, and across where that sign says off to let, turn straight and right, turn left up there. We're going to swing round here. It's a big mausoleum of place. My father died in this hospital, in fact. We're going to go through this traffic light here. Is it red? No? Oh, good. Here we go. Here we go. And we're going to make a turn right just here. And you'll see there's a look at this. This is part of the cathedral. Look at this building here. John will tell you about this building here, but it's for all denominations. Look to the left, there's the Glasgow Cathedral. Yeah, that's cool. And we're swinging around here, and I wonder if young John will be here.
And I'm just going to start talking now about these trees. Why do This young man was buried down there. Now this is a 12th century cathedral you're in. It's a 13th century cathedral above your head. So this was the first phase of the great cathedral that stands above you. This is 1200s, that is 1300s. You're on a big hill. Remember I said the oxen stops to drink? So you're on a hill. There was a very beautiful church, like a Norman style, preaching against the Catholic Church. They're bringing the Calvinist doctrine from Switzerland, who's pushing for Scotland to become a Protestant country. Up to then it's a Roman Catholic country. The flame of the Reformation destroyed and attacked, and the bishops destroyed as well. Bishops still his prophecy would be in the moment. And Presbyterian, the house of God, is very, very handsome husband. She's with child to Jamie. They come to Paris. Remember they go to France? Well, this year the nurses are caring for the sick people. And Claire's asking, what's wrong? Falling down and I'll show you. When you slow back into that beautiful interior of that lovely church. Forgive me for those guests who don't are not familiar with Claire. Sorry, again, those who are familiar with the story. Claire placed in a distant chapel where Claire is dying. We can't save her. The nuns are all there. See how that canopy across the top of the dead? But the local Britons called him Mungo. It means the beloved one. So Mungo, the beloved one, came together with the High Lord or the High Chief. Come forward, man, come forward. Stone and the most ornate decoration, unlike the nave, is very simple. The columns would all be white, highly designed, cut. Look at the design of the roof. He would decorate underneath, and then this would be highlighted in beautiful colours. Look at a beautiful place of worship, as it is today, but then the building was in the 20th century. Do they allow images? The men who saved this church were the tradespeople of Glasgow.
The little bird, now was that referring to St. Mungo? Bringing the wee bird to life? As a wee boy, remember, he was a wee boy when he did that. And typical Glasgow architecture, these are apartments above apartments above apartments above shops. These were built during the Victorian times, still lived in, still used today, and still in great condition. That's why they're still lived in. And much of our city remains like that, Victorian, as I mentioned. On the right is the university's new laboratories, nanotechnology and quantum physics. These are brand new laboratories over on the right hand side, Strathclyde University. These buildings on the left are students' accommodation. All these buildings on the left and on the left are for the students of Strathclyde University. The old railway line that used to be here, the old railway depot, the walls still remain. You see the iron bars where the big warehouses once stood, and this one has been kept. Here on the left, it's been converted to apartments. So that's a big warehouse converted to apartments in the 1990s. Look at the size of it on the left, way around it. And here is the heart of the old city now. The tower facing you is the town hall called the Tolbooth. This dates from 1610, and it was the tallest structure in Scotland when it was built. It stands now isolated in the middle of a road because in 1920s the building attached to it on the right was demolished so that they could widen the road, and they built this modern bank on the corner there. The tower now stands in amongst the roads now, but it's the old crossroads of Glasgow. All the traffic would come this direction, east, west, north, south. And on the left is the unicorn, the symbol of Scotland. You go to Stirling, you'll see that tomorrow. There it is, the unicorn. It's our market cross, that we would say in Scotland, Market Cross, where proclamations could be read out and public executions carried out. Where that young woman's crossing the road here, she's walking on a street called the Glasgow Gate, the street to the gallows. And the street's still called that even today. So here was public execution on the left. Now we're going straight to the very end of this road, straight to the end. We're going to take you now to the River Clyde, and here is where the ring is thrown into the water, straight to the end. The buildings on the left and right, again Victorian. Salt Market, the name of the place is called the Salt Market, where salt was preserved, bought to preserve food, forgive me for saying that. The buildings on the left have been cleaned, they're all Victorian. People still like to live in them, as I said. But these are all in the east of the city. The wealthy part of the city is where I take you last. The west of the city, where the very wealthy merchants build their great homes, the plantations, and we lost our great fortunes and our city crashed, the economy crashed. And that's why in the city of Glasgow there is no statue anywhere to King George III. None. So we go to the right, and here on the left is the park on the east of the city called Glasgow Green. That's a park, belongs to the people since the 14th century. And here is the river. The river's flowing through this park. Right here on the left, the river's flowing through the park, heading out to the ocean. But here, the water is salt water. Now look how much it's dropped. The ships bringing tobacco, sugar and rum sailed to this very spot here on the left. This is where the goods came to. This was the old, we're going to go to the right here. This is the old fish market here on your right from 1820s. And in those days the ships could still sail up here to the left, bringing fish, bringing goods, taking goods out of the city. But once the Victorians come along from 1840 to 1900, the city would treble in size. They would build the city on a grid system, ever dropping as we speak. We're going right into the heart of the Victorian city now. Now watch this. As this Victorians extended from the high street, they would go west. All the streets running parallel to each other on a grid system, east-west, and dissected north-south. We're on the north-south part of that road, so we just follow straight through. So we're on the north-south of the road, but all the main roads, the larger roads, are going east-west. Now I'm going to show you one of the big shopping areas. Look on the right, that sign saying Merchant City. There's a big area I'm about to show you. Look at the left. Remember, this is the longest street in Scotland. It continues for quite a distance. But the area here now on the right is the reason I'm bringing you here. It's called the Merchant City. Everywhere here, there are restaurants, there's pubs, there's a concert hall with the BBC Symphony Orchestra play, and beautiful coffee shops and restaurants everywhere. Look to the right. Look along this very wide street. You'll see people eventually walking around up there. This is all called the Merchant City, so you want to remember the Merchant City. That's to the right hand side. Ahead of you is the Italian Centre. There's Italia, the statue there on top of the building. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Just through there where that lady's walking, straight ahead of me, just behind there. So all this area on the right hand side, as far as you can see, we go right down to the bottom, is known as the Italian Centre. You see the Armani shops and everything coming up, we go straight down. So we're on the Victorian Road going east-west now. We're back on the east-west route. And right ahead of you, and this is funny, Ian, this is all new, is a statue of the Duke of Wellington, who defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. But for over 30 odd years, the students have been climbing up and putting parking cones on his head. And today he's got a wig on and a Scottish flag flying. There he's up. I've never ever seen that before. So there's the Duke of Wellington standing or sitting on his horse colt. We're going to go round the centre of the city now. Okay, you can see how you can walk all the way to the left there. So we're going through the heart of the city now. This is the main thing to listen to. This is George Square. No statue to King George, but named George Square. Building is our city chambers, our administration centre of our city. You'll see it on the right hand side with the flag flying. That is the city chambers. That's the landmark in the heart of our city. It is full of beautiful Carrara marble interiors. Beautiful, beautiful marble. 2 marble staircases, banqueting hall. Unbelievably beautiful. In so much so, I'm going to pass this little booklet along, and so you can have a look what's inside. Anybody behind me listening? Okay, and have a look at what's inside that beautiful building there on the right hand side called the City Chambers. Here on the western side is 2 horse statues, 2 equestrian statues. Queen Victoria, who's looking if she needs to get her hair curled a wee bit more because she's gone prematurely grey thanks to the seagulls. She looks pretty, needs another wee touch of colour, I think. But there she is, she looks pretty sad with those seagulls. But that's Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. Now, who's interested in the very centre of the square is a statue not to a king or a soldier or a politician, but to a great Scottish writer, Sir Walter Scott. He's in the centre, and he's gone prematurely grey because the seagulls on his head now, look, the mess they make. But that's Sir Walter Scott. Now, the ladies, and perhaps the gentlemen, who are following Outlander, the next set of lights is where they did the filming. Here, Claire and Frank got married after the Second World War. To the square again, and then we're going to head straight in one line to your hotel. So just remember the route we're taking. So straight through if we can. Try and get through these lights if you can. Now if you look to the right, everyone, these are the archways connecting our town hall where they're filming Outlander. Look to the right hand side. Look to the right hand side. Just slow down. Just look here to the right. That's it. Keep looking to the right, everyone. That's it in there. And that's where they filmed Claire walking through those archways and pretended it was London to the register office. And then, of course, they come to Scotland for their honeymoon. And then all those strange things happen. We're going to see those columns again. We're going right round the other side of the square. You'll see them again to the right here. So this is all the university on our left, Strathclyde. And now we're going to go back, straight line. Watch yourself, Pep, watch yourself, watch yourself. We're going to go in a straight line towards your hotel now. We're going from this street, it's a straight line, non-stop to your hotel. So we're going to pass the city chambers. You're going to see those lovely archways again. And those with the cameras, keep clicking, because this is it. And this long street takes you right to your hotel. Okay? Now keep looking to the right and you'll see the archways again. So they pretended it was a register office in London, just there on our right there. Just there. So that's that part. So now we go straight on. And ladies and gentlemen, the largest shopping precinct in the whole of Scotland is just ahead of you. Wait to see what happens here. There will be thousands of people shopping. People come to meet friends, to do shopping, to eat, and just to walk around window shopping. You're heading to the largest area now, so keep ahead of you, watch ahead. So the centre of the square is George Square. One great walk to your hotel, straight ahead. And if anyone asks for the Merchant City, they will give you. It's very close by, it's within walking distance, it's very close. The whole city, though it's on a grid system, is not that large. Now look at the people moving back and forward like ants. Look from a distance. You see the movement as they cross this one road. They're all waiting to cross. Just watch this. and all ages. Now, restaurants. There are many, many restaurants in this city. Everywhere you look, the restaurants of every cuisine, every kind of style. On the right here was where the flag is flying, was once a bank. It's now called the Counting House. It's like a big pub. They sell fast food, but nice food, and beautiful interiors. I highly recommend go inside there on the right to see the interior. Here's a shipping company called the Anchor Line. Now it's a restaurant above, and a beautiful kind of bistro downstairs called the Atlantic Bistro down below. Here is another company, used to be a newspaper company. That's another restaurant. At the very bottom is the River Clyde. Now watch the few people shopping here. The nicest one of all is to the left, called Princess Square. To the left is a big giant peacock of metal outside the building. That's called Princess Square. That's all inside. So look to the right, see the few people up there? Look to the left, see the few people down there? And that is nothing, because it's going to get busier. And they're all be making their way there now from work, all gathering up at 5 o'clock to meet their friends and teas. And real Scottish beer made locally. So here is on the left is a Greek restaurant, there's an Indian restaurant, there's even a Mexican one on the left with the lights flashing, but next to it is the Drum and the Monkey. Great atmosphere and beautiful interior, because remember it was a bank here on the left. A lovely Italian restaurant is my favourite. To the next set of lights to the right, the next corner, right on the corner of the building, of the road, is called Sarti. Vincent Street and Renfield Street. And there on the right, the big red building right in the corner there with the flagpole sticking out, that's Sarti, the Fratelli Sarti. And now we're moving into the financial district, the insurance district, on the right just there. It's known as the hat rack, that you may call Art Nouveau, or the French Art Nouveau. So it's art and craft. The time of Tiffany. Strange church in the 1850s, this church was added. It's on the left, and it's called St Vincent Church. It's a Free Church of Scotland, it's a Presbyterian. It's a very strange building though. It's a hybrid of Greek, Persian, Egyptian and Roman. The man was called Alexander Thompson. Now this is a landmark. Your hotel is just beside this. 39 steps, named after a book by George Buchan. And where this little set of lights are now, we're stopping. To the left is the 39 steps leading down towards your hotel. In a few minutes we're going to go straight through, because I want to now show you 21st century Glasgow, just to give you an idea of what lies to the west and the two of the most beautiful buildings and the wealthy part of the city. Charles Rennie Mackintosh, new sculpture, just sitting there. That is the Clyde Auditorium, that we call the Armadillo. The big crane on the left used to lift steam locomotives made in Glasgow, put into the hulls of ships, because everything ahead of us was full of water. The ships were all in here. There's the BBC, over on the left, the Scottish television. And this is the 12,000 seat mega concert hall, opened 3 years ago by Sir Norman Foster. And the skin of the building, we go to the left here, changes colour at night. All these buildings change colour. It's amazing to see. And there's a brand new hotel they're building on the right. And the newest car park, catering for all the people coming, is known as the Swiss cheese car park, just on our right hand side.
Why is that?
The local people, the Swiss cheese car park. And now we're going left here, and we're now going to show you a science museum, a huge revolving tower, take an elevator up, all year round on this spot here. Not just for one part of the year, all year round. And here they're making whiskey. Look on the left, this tower on the left, part of the old docks, is now a distillery called the Clydeside Distillery. Look to your left, you'll see it. And over on the left, that little set over there is where Steven Spielberg has been making a film. Just over there, Colin Firth. Colin Firth is one of the actors, the old dry docks of the city. And here is the museum, here on the left, the new museum, called the Riverside Museum, and the sailing ship, part of the museum, because in that beautiful iconic building, designed by Zaha Habib, and a lady, Iraqi lady architect, who died sadly just a few years ago, she gave us this beautiful wave-like construction of a museum, housing the city ships, all the models of the great ships we made, the Queen Mary, the Queen Elizabeth, the QE2, the Royal Yacht Britannia, and many others. All the scale models are inside that building. And here, our students' accommodation on the left. Kelvin, it's all floodlit in the evening. And this beautiful park has many, many hectares. You can walk through the park all the way, following the river to the botanical gardens. Y junction, if you went straight on, that is Argyle Street. That's the longest street I was talking about. Straight ahead where this bus is moving, that's Argyle Street over there on the right. And that street takes you right into the city, as I mentioned. And that's the eatery district. Well, we go to the left, and this takes you past your hotel now. First thing you see, St Mungo. He's standing there blessing you as you enter the museum. A big statue to St Mungo's in there. And look up on the left, look at the hill, all the houses up on the hill. These are 5-storey high townhouses for the very wealthy. They would live above the park, away from the pollution of the east of the city. Now, some of you may be familiar with London. There's a nice wee hotel there. Some of you are familiar with London, or Chelsea and Kensington. Well, there's a little part of London just on our left-hand side. Just keep looking ahead and you'll see this beautiful crescent. Very, very typical of the London style. It's the only place in Glasgow, or even maybe in Scotland, you'll find this. You could film here and pretend you were in London. No one would know any difference. So look to the left. In a moment, you'll see that lovely royal crescent. Very typical. These are townhouses again. The big synagogue ahead of you, high on a hillside, called Garnet Hill Synagogue. We also have many different faiths of Christian denominations, Muslim and Buddhism, but we also have 4 Sikh temples. So look to the right, you'll see a huge golden dome Sikh temple. Look on our left, look at the funny angle. And now that's a good landmark for you, because now we're turning to the right here, and this takes you right to your hotel. Okay? This one street takes you right to your hotel. So remember, everything's going north-south, east-west.
I'll show you how to get to Soho Street. There are restaurants there, lots of restaurants. There's Chinese restaurants, there are Indian restaurants, there's pizzas, there's everything. Soho Street is a very famous hotel. The King's Theatre is just up here on the left-hand side. I don't know what's on there just now. I think it's Calendar Girl is on tomorrow night. The Calendar Girls, which is very good. The red building on the right-hand side. And this is our hotel just coming down here. So you come out the hotel, you've got the 39 steps, but it's honours. Honours, that's it. You join OURS, honours, and that'll put you through. Apart from that, that's it, straight in. Tomorrow morning we will be leaving, the guys. We'll be leaving at 8:30. Breakfast is from 6:30. Yes, 6:30, and we'll be leaving for Stirling tomorrow morning at 8:30. I'll put my notice board up in the hotel. You'll see the next morning the times we're leaving. Please have a good look at that. It's we're leaving at 7:45. 8:45, yeah. 39 steps, here's the steps here. You see, you walk up here, out the hotel, walk up here, and turn right. For downtown. As you were straight on across the 39 steps, cross over, straight across the end of the takes you to Soho Hall Street as well. Okay? Loads of places. These taxi drivers love us here because they're allowed to park here, but they've got to budge as soon as they see us coming, or they're not allowed to park here. Anyway, so we're back.